Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I review the latest movies and documentaries. Today, I'm going to talk about the Swarm series. If you're interested in this topic, make sure to watch this video until the end, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. The Swarm 2023 is a German sci-fi and environmental thriller series, based on the novel of the same name by Frank Schatzing. The series follows the story of a global group of scientists who are challenged by an unknown collective intelligence, living in the depths of the sea, who threatens the lives of humanity, due to its irresponsible behavior towards the oceans. The series consists of 8 episodes, and these are the events in detail. Episode 1. Whale researcher Leon Anawak is concerned when he finds a killer whale dead on shore after attacking a fishing boat. He discovers that the whale was carrying a strange electronic device in its body. He communicates with French scientist Cecil Roche, who works at a naval research center in Normandy, who faces another problem: crabs that violently attack people. Cecil discovers that crabs have unknown metal particles in their bodies. Cecil and Leon decide to join an international scientific team led by the world Swede Sigurd Johansson, who investigates other strange marine phenomena around the world. Episode 2. Events escalate when whales attack tourists in Canada, and cancers become fatal in France. Scientist Sigurd Johansson discovers aggressive iceworms on the seabed that multiply at breakneck speed. He suspects that there is a connection between these worms and metal particles found in whales and crabs. He tries to contact German scientist Katharina Lehmann, who works at a research station in the Arctic, which studies the impact of climate change on the polar environment. But she refuses to cooperate with him, because she hides a dangerous secret from the world. Episode 3. Sigurd manages to obtain a sample of ice worms, and analyzes them in his laboratory in Stockholm. He discovers that the worms carry a new type of DNA, unlike anything he's seen before. He realizes that worms are part of a collective intelligence that lives in the depths of the sea, which he calls the Swarm. He tries to convince fellow scientists of the danger of the Swarm to humanity, but faces mockery and skepticism. At the same time, Katharina is attacked by the Swarm at her polar station, and loses her life. Sigurd receives a message. She warns him of the danger of the Swarm, and asks him to search for her daughter Charlie, who lives in Berlin, and protects her from the Swarm. Episode 4. Sigurd travels to Berlin, where he meets Charlie, a teenage girl with psychological and social problems. Charlie tells him that her mother was working on a secret project to find a way to communicate with the Swarm, using an electronic device called the Hive. Sigurd decides to use the Hive to try to understand the Swarm's intentions, and takes Charlie with him to his research center in Stockholm. There, he meets Finnish scientist Tina Lund, who is developing a technique to control the Swarm using sound waves. Tina joins Sigurd's team, and begin experiments on the Swarm. But the Swarm responds violently, attacking the research center, and killing some scientists. Episode 5. Sigurd, Charlie, and Tina survive the attack, and escape to a safe place. They communicate with Cecil and Leon, who face other problems in France and Canada. Cecil tells them that the crabs have turned into huge monsters, and that they need their help to stop them. Leon tells them that the whales have begun to cooperate with the Swarm, and that they threaten ships and offshore platforms. The scientific team decides to join an international military force under the command of Captain Jasper Olben, who offers them the use of a warship equipped with the latest technology to confront the squadron. The team agrees on. Episode 6. The scientific team and military force begin to chase the Swarm in the oceans, and they try to find its weakness and destroy it. They use the Hive to communicate with the Swarm, and try to understand why it is hostile to humanity. They discover that the Swarm suffers pain and anger, due to ocean pollution and human intervention in the ecosystem. They try to convince the squadron that they want peace and cooperation, but the squadron refuses to listen, and increases its attacks. The squadron manages to shoot down the warship, killing Captain Jasper and some soldiers. The scientific team survives with difficulty, and is divided into 2 groups. A group wants to continue dialogue with the Swarm, and a group wants to use force to eliminate it. Episode 7. Tina joins a group of scientists and soldiers who believe that the Swarm is a danger to humanity, and must be destroyed at all costs. They get support from world governments, which send planes, missiles and submarines to attack the Swarm. Tina uses her technology to control the Swarm using sound waves, and tries to weaken and distract it. But the Swarm resists, and uses its supernatural abilities to counter the attack. A massive explosion occurs on the seabed, leading to tsunamis, earthquakes and volcanoes. Millions of people are dying, and the world is being hit hard. Episode 8 and final. Seger, Charlie, Cecil and Leon survive the disaster, and try to search for survivors. They realize that the swarm is not dead, but has moved elsewhere in the oceans. They decide to try to call him again, and use the hive to send a message to the swarm. They apologize for what humans have done, and ask the swarm to give them a chance to learn and change. They wait nervously for the swarm's response, hoping that there will be hope for peace and coexistence between humans and this swarm. The series ends with a picture of the swarm in the depths of the sea, receiving their message. And here we will have reached the end of our series. Here are some quotes from our series. We have been invaded by an enemy more deadly than any human force. Sir Michael Caine Brad Crane. This quote expresses the horror and wonder that the hero Brad Crane, a bee scientist, feels when he faces a deadly bee invasion that threatens humanity. This quote shows that bees are not a friend of man, but a mortal enemy, and that humans are not able to confront them with military force. We've been fighting a losing battle against insects for 15 years, but I never expected to see the final confrontation in my life. I never dreamed that it would be bees. He has always been our friend. Brad Crane. This quote reflects the sadness and regret that Brad Crane feels when he realizes that the bees, who loved and protected him, had turned into a ruthless opponent. This quote shows that bees are an essential part of the environment, and that they play an important role in pollinating crops. This quote implies that humans are responsible for changing bees' behavior, due to their pollution of the environment and their interference in the ecosystem. I have spent billions of dollars to make these nuclear plants safe. Fail-safe. The odds of anything going wrong are astronomical, Dr. Andrews. This quote represents the arrogance and overconfidence that Dr. Andrews, a nuclear plant manager, enjoys when he denies any danger that could occur from killer bees. This quote shows that humans rely on technology to protect themselves, and that they ignore the natural forces that can defeat them. This quote hints that the nuclear plant will be attacked by bees, and that this will lead to a major disaster. A swarm is not just a collection of living creatures. It is one mind, which can think, plan and adapt. He understands us more than we do. Cecil Roche, Cecil de France. This quote illustrates the nature of the swarm, which is the main enemy in the film. This quote shows that the flock is not just marine animals, but an intelligent and sophisticated entity, possessing supernatural abilities. This quote also shows that the swarm has a deep knowledge of humanity, and that it uses it to attack and take revenge on it. We have neglected the oceans for a long time. We considered it a source of wealth, food and energy. But we didn't realize that they hold secrets and lives that we don't know. The swarm has angered us, and it wants to restore balance. Seger Johansson Alexander Karim. This quote criticizes human behavior toward the oceans, highlighting the cause and effect relationship. This quote shows that humans have polluted the oceans and destroyed the ecosystem, and that this has angered the swarm, which is trying to restore natural balance. This quote also shows that the oceans hide things we can't understand or control. I'm not just a scientist. I'm a mother. And I love my daughter more than anything. For this reason, I am ready to sacrifice everything. Even if it means joining the squadron. Katharina Lehmann Leonie Bennis. This quote reveals the motives of Katharina Lehmann, a German scientist working in the Arctic, who hides a dangerous secret from the world. This quote shows that Katharina suffers from a fatal disease, and that she wants to save her daughter Charlie, who carries the genes of the swarm. This quote shows that Katharina sees in the swarm an opportunity to survive, and that she abandons humanity and joins the swarm. Technical information about the series. The series is based on the novel of the same name by German writer Frank Schatzing, which was published in 2004 and was an international success. The novel deals with the environment, climate change and the relationship between man and nature, in an exciting and interesting way. The series is produced by Schwarm TV Productions, a joint company between Intaglio Films and NDFIP, for ZDF in Germany, in collaboration with France Televisions, Rai Fiction, Viaplay Group, Hulu Japan, Orphaned SRF, with Bravado Fiction, and Beside Production. The series is the most expensive German television production of all time, with an estimated budget of €40 million. Directed by Barbara Eder, Luke Watson and Philip Stolzel, the series is written by Frank Schatzing, Stephen Lally, Marissa Listrad and Michael A. Walker and Chris Lunte. The series features international actors such as Cecil de France, Alexander Karim, Leonie Benich, Joshua Ojik, Takuya Kimura, Krista Kozanen, Rosabel Laurenti Sellers, Barbara Sokoa, Oliver Masucci, Sharon Duncan Brewster, Lydia Wilson, Takehiro O'Hara and Claude Hover M. Love. The series consists of 8 episodes, each lasting 46 minutes. The series premiered at the Berlinale International Film Festival and the Berlinale series section on February 19, 2023. With the first 3 episodes shown out of competition. The series premiered on ZDF between February 22 and March 8, 2023. The series has also been available on Rai France Televisions, Viaplay, Movistar, ORF, SRF and Hulu Japan since March 2023. The series began airing in Australia on streaming service Binge on June 7, 2023. The series was selected by the CW to premiere in the United States and is scheduled to premiere on September 12, 2023. The series was filmed in several European and Asian countries, such as Germany, France, Italy, Norway, Sweden and Japan. Some picturesque natural sites have also been used, such as the Arctic, the Pacific Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. The series uses high-quality animation techniques and special effects to create stunning images of flocks, marine animals and natural disasters. The series is based on Pixamondo, a German animation and visual effects company, which has worked on popular series such as Game of Thrones and The Mandalorian. The series features an epic and moving soundtrack, composed by German artist Ascha Downhauer, who won the Silver Bear Award for Best Music at the Berlin Film Festival in 2020. Music uses classical, electronic and acoustic instruments to create a diverse and proportionate atmosphere. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this series and what other movies or documentaries you want me to review next. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.